A long, long time ago, a spark of life was sent to the earth from Mount Olympus. The spark traveled to a forest and set its claim into the ground. From this spark set forth hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of years of growth in the forest. But it was not natural growth, for you see, this growth made things more than just lively. They made things alive. Trees, mushrooms, ferns, pine cones, and twigs all gained sentience and great form in this specific forest. These beings prospered and even befriended animals and humans alike. The greatest of these beings was called Ferndale, a wise and giant tree creature who had a beard as lush as the caves, a cape of moss as fluffy as a blanket, and of course, lots of fungus on his feet. He was kind, wise, gentle, but most importantly, brave. He guarded the sacred forest and became the leader of them all. Along with the spark of life, there was a spark of darkness that was sent into the nearby mountains. This grew many rocky beings that were almost seemingly created as weapons of war. These beings hated the forest beings, and their leader, named Andosidomphale, hated them the most. She hated everything the forest stood for and only wanted to destroy them, and so therefore an attack was launched onto the forest. And since the forest practiced peace and harmony, they lost the battle. The forest was set ablaze, killing every being in the forest, except Ferndale and Adasadam Vale. Though Ferndale was charred and burnt, he still stood tall and strong. But he failed. He had failed all his kingdom, and so he decided to give the forest one last hope at keeping their species alive. He broke a part of his foot with a little red mushroom on it, and held it and started singing to give it life. But as he was almost done, Andosidomphale snatched it from his hands and started a song of her own to let her species prosper and be the last natural weapon of war. But as she started, she was immediately killed by a falling, burning tree. Ferndale quickly snatched up the stump from her cold, dead hands and quickly buried it in the ground. He kissed the ground to give the stump one more goodbye, and then was engulfed by the fire. Hundreds of thousands of years went by, and the forest had become empty. No trees, but lots of moss, and then suddenly, a talking mushroom man burst from the earth and stood there confused. He had many thoughts going through his brain. He had no memories of his own, but he definitely knew what everything was. It was a strange feeling. He also had an electrocution of sorts in his brain that gave him surges of violent thoughts and actions. And as he grew a week old, he did many things. He befriended wildlife, met the farmers, and even got a pair of overalls from them. He walked through the forest and most of all tried to find a purpose.